This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Sierra 117, and you're listening to Podcast Unlocked, the world's #1 Xbox podcast. Now, finish this fight. Master Chief, out.
What's happening, friends? Welcome to Podcast Unlocked, episode 457 for August 18th, 2020. I'm Ryan McCaffrey, and I'm joined, as usual, by the Bam Meister himself, Destin Legary.
Bam! Hey, everybody. Doing a little technical direction work this time. So if I'm more distracted than usual, it's because I'm doing more than usual.
Yeah, it's I appreciate it because it's sort of a bit extra busy week around IGN as we prepare for Gamescom. So usual production not available. Destin kindly filling in. And making his unlocked, actually, both of these other guys making their long-awaited unlocked returns. The beloved, the only Podcast Unlocked panel member to ever have a perfect Q rating with the audience in IGN history. And see, Seth thinks I'm talking about him, but I'm actually talking about Mark Medina.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm just off today. Destin's wearing his glasses, and I don't know. Today's a weird day. It's a weird day.
That's all right. It's a
what are you
day.
talking about?
Yeah, no, it's great to be back. I don't think I've been on since the pandemic, so it's great to see all you guys. Hello, I'm alive still.
Yeah, you've been drooling over the PlayStation 5 on Twitter, so I've been like, I don't know if I should have Mark back on. It's a little like wipe the corner of your mouth, my friend.
I've been playing a ton of Outer Worlds, a ton of Grounded, and a ton of Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yes.
So,
or the latter of which we're going to talk all about. In fact, that is one of the primary reason, other than the fact that we like him a lot, that Seth Macy joining us from IGN Maine, the Maine office, population 1. Good to see you, my friend.
It's great to be back. It's good to see you all as well. I'm excited.
Yes. In fact, let's just jump right into it because it is, we were talking about this on a recent podcast. Like, it's at the end of the day, Sony, their exclusive their first party studios keep pumping out, by and large, 9 and 10 out of 10 rated games. They just have earned that incredible track record. And Microsoft, yes, you have Ori and the Will of the Wisps, phenomenal game this year. And Forza Horizon 4, probably the last tremendous, 10 out of 10-ish game before that. But actually nailing that 10 out of 10 from IGN.com and Seth Macy, the first Microsoft game to get a 10 from IGN in quite a while, is not anything you would have ever expected. But this is so great. I am eager to talk to you about this, Seth. That 10 out of 10 for Microsoft goes, first one in a while, to Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I read your review, and you're not crazy, my friend. There's the Metacritic on this is 93 when I checked this morning. Like, it is getting 10s across the board, a lot, and some 9s. I mean, talk about this, Seth. First, give us kind of the quick overview for people that maybe just haven't been paying much attention to Flight Simulator. And then I really want to talk more about this.
Sure. Well, Flight Simulator is amazing. It's a beyond amazing. It's an amazing would be a 9. It's a masterpiece, which is a 10. I kind of agonized over this because as I was, playing it and sort of formulating my opinion of it, the whole time I've just been in love with just the promise of the game that you can take off and fly from any airport in the world. There's 37,000 airports you can fly on Earth, and you can take off or land from any of them. I mean, that's kind of all you need to know that this game was going to be amazing. But the fact that they delivered on it,
well, it's the execution of it, right?
It's execution, yeah.
Yeah.
It's.
I mean, the I want to hear about the weather. I want to hear about the accurate details. I want to hear about how they've covered up the inaccurate details, and just go into the detail of what makes this game so insane in the best of ways.
So of course, there's so much thought given to just the flight models, the aircrafts, there's the handcrafted airports, but it's the real world data integration from Bing Maps, real world weather integration. There's real air traffic. You can turn all of these on or off. It's up to you. Well, other than the Bing Maps, obviously, that's kind of a critical part of the game. But yeah, they've taken all this real world data. There's 2 petabytes of just map data alone that stream to your computer
and that's Is that 2,000 terabytes? Is that correct?
That's 2,000 terabytes. Yes.
That's a lot. My hard drive, I just built a new PC. It's got 2 terabytes.
Yeah. That's mine's the same thing. Yeah. So I mean, we're like 10 years from those, 2 petabyte being just like the normal PC drive, but it streams to your computer accurately. They have some space age meets magic algorithm that fills in where buildings are supposed to be. Like you can fly over your house. Like I say in my review, it might not look like your house, but it's exactly where your house is supposed to be. I've done it that was like one of the first things I did. I got in and I was like, let's go find my house. We flew over my house, flew over my kids' schools. We flew over my parents' house. I landed at my old town airstrip on an island in Maine, took off from it, just did all of these incredible things that look, obviously when you land on the ground, it falls apart a little bit, because the buildings don't look like, they're like, hey, that's not Joe's house. That's somebody else's house. But it's
why is there a mountain in Joe's front yard?
I haven't had any weird glitches like that where mountains appear where they shouldn't be. But yeah, I was just playing this and I was just so blown away. Like before this game even existed, I would sometimes go on Google Maps and just look at stuff. I don't know. I might be the only person who did that, but then somebody, a few years ago to Sobo Studios was like, hey, what if we take all this Bing Maps data we have and just like make a game out of it? And it's
can you talk about the visual aspect of it? Because we've seen on IGN every time we've put up a new gameplay video of this game, and this goes back months, it just kills. People click on it like there's no tomorrow, because this is arguably one of the most next generation looking games in quite some time. I mean, it is borderline photorealistic in most places, as you said, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you're 1,000 feet above the ground, it looks like you're in an airplane. More rural areas sort of fall apart when you get lower. But I flew over the IGN office, and it was accurate to where you could see the awning in the front of the building. The only inaccurate thing was there wasn't the permanent road construction happening, which somebody pointed out in the Slack chat. But
traffic jams.
Yeah, and the traffic jams and like a couple of electric scooters.
That construction thing is not a joke. I've worked at IGN for 5 years. Not one moment was there not construction happening on 2nd Street.
I've taken a lot of nails in my tires from all that damn construction, but that's neither here nor there. Now, Mark, you've played. I want to hear from you too, because you've played a good bit of this. I've got it. I said it last week's show. I finally, after 5 years, I just had a new gaming PC built. And I am like, this is the perfect thing to throw at it. And your review, before I was kind of like, it's a simulator. Do I really want to bother with this? But your review totally tipped me over the edge, Seth, right? I very much want to load this up and plan to do that here this week. But yeah, Mark, what have you thought of it as you've spent some time with it?
It is funny to think, like, is this a simulator or is it a game? Like, it's a weird mesh. There are leaderboards. I've played. I was reluctant at first. I was like, I don't think I'm going to like this at all. And the first thing I wanted to do was mess with the weather. We wanted to make a video about like the different weather effects and stuff like that, and see how seamless it was. And our original plan, it's like a weird thing to say, right? So our original plan was to fly around New York and show New York in different weather patterns.
Sure.
Now, we are a San Francisco-based company. I know San Francisco better. So then I immediately was like, well, if I'm making this, I'm doing San Francisco, because and it's just weird to think that like real world experiences helped me make a better video in this game.
Yeah.
And so, I made it snow in San Francisco. It was fantastic. That's everybody's favorite thing to point out.
God.
Everyone's like, does it snow in San Francisco? I'm like, no, it was very temperate.
I hate those snowstorms.
We made it happen. But just flying over the water. I was flying from the Bay Bridge to the Golden Gate Bridge. And if you look, my computer has a 2080 Ti in it. So it was able to keep up. But man, that water was just real water. It just was like, it was amazing. And I did the same thing. I flew to the town I live in now, and I flew to like my wife's parents' house. And the mountain thing isn't a joke. I found their cul-de-sac, and for some reason there was this like mountain protruding out their front. But that was only when I got super close. It's really cool. The game has it's called active pause, where while you're flying, you just press a button and you just freeze in midair. But you can still move the camera. You can still
cool.
The game's still running.
Like
the
a
plane
photo
is
mode.
still 100%. Like you just move around. That's how we made the weather videos. I would just pause it, I would change the weather, and then I would just resume. And so then it would just look like a flash. It was really, really cool. The landing challenges, I know Seth would probably want to talk about these. I am 9th in the world in one of the landing challenges.
Get outta here. Really?
I'm sure that hasn't lasted. The game came,
it's out today. Yeah,
because
the game came
all the
out today.
Aussies and New Zealand players really hit it hard.
I texted Seth yesterday, and I was like, all us like, early access people are just like reigning over the leaderboards, and it ends today. So get your scores in now. But no, it's a really great game. I honestly, your best guide is to use like Google Maps or whatever, because I wanted to fly over Chernobyl, and I'm like, all right, where's the closest airport and where's Chernobyl? Okay. And I would just like plan a route, and then I would just fly there. And I was just using Google Maps. It's really, really cool.
Seth, how on the sort of this subject that Mark touched on, how gamey is it? Like, it is in the name flight simulator. So I think I know I'm kind of wondering that before I dive in later this week. And
I might be able to speak to that.
Go ahead,
actually.
Destin. Yes.
Never played a flight simulator. Had no idea what the hell I was doing. I picked it up and I flew a plane in about 2 seconds, Ryan. It defaults to like everything being on easy, at least on the account that we use to do the early access. And I picked it up and I flew to my apartment. I flew around Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok. I probably said that wrong, but it's like Grand Theft Auto controls. And I think, Seth, that's what you said. So I just wanted to say, as somebody totally inexperienced with anything flight simulator, I was able to hop in and figure it out.
And I'm in the same boat as you, Destin. Yeah. So, I know, Seth, you, in addition to the detail you're about to provide there, I know you did try it out with the Xbox controller as well.
Yeah, I primarily played it with the Xbox controller. And more recently, I started playing with an Airbus Thrustmaster Airbus control stick, but it controls perfectly fine with an Xbox controller. If that's all you have, you're there's a little bit of the nuance when you're first taking off. There is a little bit of a worry that you might, hit the tail as you're heading out, but no, it's fine. You'll have a lot of fun. And if you just, want to go sightseeing and then maybe eventually learn a little bit more about the actual simulation aspect.
Yeah.
Real quick, are you guys only using the Xbox controller?
No.
Okay.
Let's see it.
No. That's not what I mean. Oh, that thing is cool. What I mean is, I didn't feel like that there was enough buttons on the controller.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm using the controller and the keyboard.
Right. Yeah. When I played medium assist, which is like halfway between just arcade, quote unquote arcade style and full simulation. And yeah, I still had to use.
It's like F3, keyboard. F2 for your thrusters, F8 for your
F8
flaps,
for your
but then
full flaps, and
but then everything else you're steering with the controller, you're looking around, you're doing that kind of stuff. But you do have to kind of reach up and use your keyboard, which does make me wonder how this thing's going to work on an actual Xbox.
I sat on the couch and I only used the controller, so it was.
How did you move?
With the sticks. You use the sticks to move, and like it's A to like turn up your power,
you
or whatever
can map.
It's called, and then B to turn it down.
Completely customized controls. So
that does raise an interesting point. So obviously we're Podcast Unlocked. This isn't it is a Microsoft first party game, and it is coming to Xbox. We just don't know when. In light of Halo's delay and this thing being a 10, it sure would be nice to have it at launch as something super cool to look forward to, but no word yet. Maybe they're trying for that, but are after Halo, maybe they're gun shy to confirm it, which would be totally understandable. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see when it's coming to Xbox. But I would presume, I would be surprised if the upcoming Xbox version of this doesn't have mouse and keyboard support to do exactly what you guys were talking about. Like, I'm sure there will be a way to play it as Destin was with just the gamepad, where it's really simplified on the control side, but I'll bet it also will support keyboard and mouse, so you can kind of combo up if you want. But
yeah.
How many things do you really need to think about in an airplane? I mean, you got your
right.
You got your flaps. You got the back tail thing that moves back and forth. You got to go faster and slow down.
The SpaceX Crew Dragon docked itself autonomously to the space station. It's right. It's just put on autopilot. It's fine.
I'm just surprised Destin knows all of the technical terms. The flappy thingy, the little. It's amazing.
The only time the game bothered me is when it's like, all right, here's how you disengage your brake. Here's how you raise and lower your landing gear.
But I think where I want to finish this conversation about this game is, Seth, that this really is just a tremendous experience to be celebrated. Like there is nothing like this.
Mm-hmm. No, not at all. And I was sort of talking yesterday when I was streaming about how, this real-time, real-world data streaming integration, like in 5 years, will the next Forza Horizon of 2025 just be, Bing Street View, and you get to race through your real neighborhood? Like, this is the generational leap that sort of nobody really saw coming. Like, just this integration, this clever way that they use this data is so much more impressive to me than, I don't care if we have 2 millisecond loading time. Well, that's not true. Their loading times are kind of a bummer, but instantaneous, like, just the excitement of seeing just pick an airport, you can land there, you can take off there. It doesn't matter. I flew a historic flight from Pyongyang, North Korea to Seoul, South Korea, a flight of brotherhood and peace and love. And it was awesome and fun. And it took like an hour. I almost didn't land, but that's okay. I did.
It comes with a little bit of a caveat, though, this game.
What's that?
Which is, if you go into the menus, it does tell you how much data you're using. And so, I recently...
You can limit it even.
Yep.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I recently, working from home, went ahead and Comcast people, they get 1 terabyte of data a month unless you pay extra for unlimited data. And with how much we do, I was like, I'm finally going to have to just pay for unlimited data. 1 terabyte's a lot. If you're playing this game, though, 1 terabyte is not much.
Yeah.
How much, Seth, didn't you mention how much you used in the review?
Yeah, I did. At the time of the review, I'd only used like maybe a few megabytes, but
That's
after
nothing.
I'm up to 229 megabytes now of data.
Megabytes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
megabytes.
Meg.
Yeah. No, not gigabytes.
Oh, that's nothing then. Never mind.
No. And that's playing a lot. Like, I just keep jumping in and
so
doing the challenge.
Clearly, it's only streaming where you're flying. It's not just it's just using what it needs.
It's basically your GPS. Like, if you got Waze on your phone and you're driving somewhere, it's similar to that as far as streaming is concerned.
Okay, never mind. There's no downsides. I thought there was a lot more, to be honest with you. I was talking to you, and you I don't know. I took it the wrong way. Apparently, it's totally fine.
Question for you, Seth: is there a way to download the data of a city or no?
If you have maps. Yeah, exactly. If you have like a really bad internet connection, you can just download the one city. I don't know if that is going to improve your experience if you have it streaming anyway, but that is a sort of a workaround if you don't. It's like the old flight simulators where you'd buy the expansion pack for Wyoming or something. Like you can do that on your own and just fly around Wyoming. Why not?
Well, congratulations to Asobo Studios and Microsoft, because this is just fantastic. And we'll this now, I mean, we're extra hyped for it to come to Xbox now. And this was a thing where we knew it was coming, but now that it's out and it's a 10, everybody loves it. It's just like, it's something extra to get excited about. I mean, this arguably is going to be, assuming it comes out on the Series X relatively soon, even if it's not right at launch, this is probably arguably going to be the most the biggest technical showcase for the Series X that you can throw at it for the early going here, unless one of the third-party games like surprises the heck out of us in the technical department. So good stuff here. Now, just as sort of a follow-up to this, I wanted to quickly kind of review the year so far for Xbox Game Studios. And I want to do that because Destin, you and I are on the show every week. We've spent years when you're not busy
busy
producing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We've spent years just in the desert with Xbox first party games. I mean, there's no beating around that bush.
Gears of War?
Yeah, I mean, Gears 5 was one of 2 games we got in 2019, the other being Crackdown 3. So, it was you got one good game, one good first party game. and it's just it's been slim pickings, but let's look at this. Listen to this, guys. So 2020 so far, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, IGN 9 out of 10. Bleeding Edge seems like that game's pretty forgotten, but it's fun enough. We gave it a 7, so solid there. Gears Tactics, PC only, back in April, but it will be out on Xbox Series X on launch day. That's an 8. I've played through that game. It's really good. You guys are gonna like it a lot if you haven't played it on PC.
That game is super good.
Yes. Other than the repetition of the side missions, that was the one thing I would call out on that. But anyway, Minecraft Dungeons, 7 there as well.
Viewed that one.
Yes. So good stuff there. That's super fun. Grounded, only in game preview. It's early access, and we did hit it with a 5. So it's very much still in the works. And I know a lot of
Grounded got a 6.
6. Sorry, I don't know why I had that nice typo on my part, but I've seen some Xbox fans upset about that, about our score. But the reality is, like, you can pay money for it, even though with the understanding that it's still in development. But if you pay money for it, the thing you're paying money for right now, we feel is a 6. It will hopefully get a good bit better than that. But that's out this year.
That's honestly something we could really dive into. The fact that companies are now saying stuff is in early access, but charging money for it. So we get a lot of flack for giving people our impressions, but at the same time, the company is making profit off of it. So our goal there is to actually inform our audience about the state of the game. And I definitely understand where the community is coming from. Like, oh, why are you reviewing this? It's in early access. I do feel like that is a way a lot of developers are putting out a product early and charging money for it. And, they almost get a pass from the community for recognizing that it is an early access, but
which is understandable to an extent. But again, if you want money, then we want to be able to tell people what they're going to get for their money.
Yeah,
and we will. And the follow up there is when it leaves early game preview / early access, we will do a final review. But anyway, so Ori, Bleeding Edge, Gears Tactics, Minecraft Dungeons, Grounded, and now Flight Sim, a 10 out of 10. Still to come from Xbox Game Studios this year. Tell me why. Actually, I should start. This week is Battletoads, finally. So looking forward to checking that out. Battletoads, Tell Me Why. Wasteland 3 is the end of August. And then we don't have a date yet, but they did reiterate to me when I previewed it very recently, the Crossfire X, complete with the Remedy-developed single-player campaign. So we're still expecting that. No Halo, but look at that. I mean, let's see. Ori, Bleeding Edge, Gears Tactics, Minecraft Dungeons, Grounded, early access, Flight Sim, Tell Me Why, Wasteland 3, Crossfire X, 10 games. 10 games. We have come to not just an oasis, but a lake finally to quench our thirst as Xbox fans looking for first party games. And now with these 15 studios, that hopefully that lake will never dry up ever again. And we have a 10 out of 10 in that group, and we have a 9 in Ori. So we have to give credit where credit is due. And if you're an Xbox fan who has stuck it out this entire generation, the tide is finally turning as far as Microsoft actually getting some good first party output turned around. So
you running through those, Ryan, it just kind of sparked a thing in my brain that we have Flight Simulator, sort of a technical demo basically, and really, really gorgeous game. And we also
don't call it a tech demo. I know you didn't mean it in a bad way.
I'm sorry. What's another way I could say it?
Technical showcase.
Technical showcase would probably be a better way to put it. Yeah. I didn't mean a tech demo, but also something that's also showing the technical aptitude or power of what the Xbox Studios could do is the new Forza game coming around the corner. They've teased little shots of it. So we have these 2 games that I think Xbox and Microsoft definitely have a leg up on the competition nobody does games like these that I can think of. I mean, there's the Gran Turismo series, but I just think Forza blows that game out of the water.
It has for a while, and certainly in the gameplay department, and certainly you could argue the looks department too. And we'll see. It'll be interesting to see at this point actually whether the new Gran Turismo that was shown at the PS5 event or the reboot of Forza Motorsport, which one will come out first on its next gen console? Because I would respectfully have to disagree with you, Destin, about it. You being around the corner, though I appreciate the car pun that you used there. Yeah, they said early in development. I don't think we should be expecting Forza anytime soon, but when it comes out, we know it's just based on that video alone, it's certainly going to look good.
Well, I appreciate you pumping the brakes on that on that statement.
You know what? Can you not be on the show again? Can we go back to
Let's
when you weren't
floor
on?
it to the next topic.
Oh my goodness. Couple of quick programming notes before we get to the rest of the news this week. One, we need your Yappa comments. I've mentioned this on the last couple of shows. Yappa is our new commenting option. It's not the only thing. You can still leave a traditional typed comment under any article on IGN, but we have the Yappa option now where you can actually leave a video comment. And the what I want to do with this with Unlocked, as you've seen on the last, I think, 2 episodes, is use them for the loot box. And maybe if we start to get enough of them, we'll expand that to the trivia as well. But for now, the loot box, because it's nice and easy, you just get on there, introduce yourself, and you ask your loot box question to the panel. We'll have one coming up. But if you wouldn't mind, I would love to hear from you. Just look for the post for this episode. So if you just type like IGN Unlocked 457 for the episode number, and then scroll down to the comments and you'll see the Yappa thing. You don't have to make a Yappa account. You can sign in with your Google account with Discuss if you use that commenting platform on other sites, or you can also sign in with Facebook or LinkedIn. So try to make it as easy as possible, and you'll hear and see who we have queued up on Yappa later in the show for the loot box. But I would love to hear from you, because I do think it adds a fun little element to the podcast, especially here on the video show where we can see and hear from you. And finally, IGN Prime is back. Mentioned this at the end last week, but we're relaunching our service. So where you can browse IGN ad-free on mobile and desktop. There are IGN store discounts. And we actually have cool shirts, Seth.
Yes.
We have
like a thousand
everything. Pop culture, all kinds of like licensed pop culture stuff. I don't even know.
Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Nickelodeon. I just did Fast Times at Ridgemont High badge yesterday.
You can download videos for offline viewing if that's helpful to you, and download game guides, the wiki stuff. If Miranda were here, she would speak to that, for offline access there, plus free indie games and more to come. So use the promo code UNLOCKED to get a free month of the new IGN Prime, so you can find more details about that on IGN.com. All right, housekeeping out of the way. Next up, we've got the DC Fandom coming up, guys, which I'm so excited to finally see what Rocksteady's got with Suicide Squad. But we know that's coming, and then Batman Gotham Knights, the Court of Owls Batman game. Is it going to get announced this weekend? I think so. But their teaser campaign continues. They're just putting out stuff. I don't know if any of you saw what was going on today, but am I the only one who's just exhausted by this?
I'm absolutely over it. You are not the only one. This is the longest, weirdest marketing campaign. We talked about it on NG Plus yesterday, and it's been going 2 years. It started back in like 2018, I think Dorno said.
So the game must have got delayed, right? Which I know Jonathan Dornbush on our team hypothesized. Like, there's no way that was by design that you would start a teaser campaign like that long.
I hope so. Like 2 years ago, they teased it with T-shirts, and then they've been showing us logos for about a year now. We all think it's Court of Owls, and I just want it. Like, this isn't cutting it for me. It's not doing it. It's making me frustrated more than anything. I just okay, I don't care about your logos. Just show us a trailer or an image or anything. Not a teaser image, like an image of the cover.
Seth, you're eternally optimistic. How do you feel about this?
You put me in a hard spot because now I can't say, well, I kind of agree with Destin.
No, you're allowed to.
Okay, well, I kind of agree with Destin.
Yeah.
No, I know what they're, it's you got to build hype. You got to get everybody excited about a game. But like 2 years into it, like he said, at this point, we had a title screen for Metroid Prime 4. No sign of that game. So, just give us a little something. Enough of the teases.
Yeah.
It's
kind of hitting close. I don't have any actual investment in this game, but I do have a lot of investment in Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is kind of doing the same thing where we all got sent these projectors, and I don't know what any of it means, and all it led was to a website that's going to do more clues, and I'm like, just announce your games, people. Tell me what games I get to play. Stop with these ARGs.
Yeah. So they've been now adding on this like redacted Twitter account where you follow more clues and teases, and we do seemingly have the name confirmed, which is the same thing that leaked some weeks ago. Batman Gotham Knights, but it does seem like it will be the Court of Owls story or influence or theme of some kind.
No spoilers. I'm reading that series right now.
Nice. Yeah. I've only ever heard great things.
They're bad? Oh. I see.
But I mean, I know that these teaser campaigns are really only ever seen by us hardcore gamers that are following this every day, and the 99% of people who they're going to be marketing this game to have never heard of the ARG and this teaser campaign and never will. But it does, I'll tell you, I'm like now predisposed to being annoyed by this game rather than being hyped up for it. Like it basically has to win me back over now, which it can do easily if the gameplay premiere asset is great. But I'm kind of going into it now, kind of like, rather than like, so that's, and feel free to GIF or meme that. I'm sure the internet will have fun with that, but yeah, I think they've kind of like dug themselves a hole a little bit, and it's going to be a little bit of an uphill climb to win people back. Like their announcement asset better be good. Otherwise, I think they're going to dig themselves a little bit of a deeper hole. Yeah. All right. Next this week, because let's see, we're already over half an hour into the show. The developer behind the Metro series is now working on more of the Metro franchise and a new AAA IP. They've been acquired by THQ Nordic's holding company, which is called Embracer Group, for $80 million. Embracer picked up 4A Games, its proprietary game engine, and the Metro IP. The Ukraine-based company will now, quote, operate as an independent studio under Saber Interactive, which Embracer also acquired this year. As for what's next for the studio in the wake of the acquisition, 4A Games CEO Dean Sharp said this, quote, together we will continue to build on the Metro franchise and will focus on bringing a multiplayer experience to our fan base. Sharp also added that the team is looking forward to, quote, building a new and even more ambitious AAA IP in the near future. How are you guys feeling about Metro and the idea of a multiplayer component in what has traditionally, to this point, been a single-player only, story-driven first-person shooter series?
That's
Seth?
actually what I was going to ask. Was I thought that the trilogy of games sort of represented the full Metro story, but I'm not like a big Metro guy, so I'm probably wrong about that. But I thought, there were 3 games because that was the story that was being told, and now they're, I'm sure they'll do a great job with it, but I'm not. We'll see.
Metro.
Very articulate.
What if it's Metro becoming games as a service?
Ooh, let's not. Let's not.
It could be possible though.
It is definitely possible.
That could be what they're thinking about, like these story set pieces, taking you through it and having a bunch of people with random Metro type gear on going through an experience. But
I can kind of see that being cool, actually.
It could also be like Escape from Tarkov, like on the other side, it could also be like Escape from Tarkov, where it's survival based because that fits with the Metro franchise.
Right.
I could honestly see them going either way.
Mark, you a Metro guy?
Not really. I played Metro Exodus. I played the first, like, I don't know, 8 hours of it. But the thing is, when I think of Metro, I think like it always reminds me of Crysis, where it's like cutting edge graphics, you know, a really intricate, like, well told story, and it's like people that are fans of that franchise are fans of what that franchise is, and so it does always kind of worry me when it's like, hey, there's going to be this Metro thing that's not, you know, Metro 4 or whatever. So you know, but I don't have a strong opinion on it either way. Metro Exodus is really fun though.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's a new Metro that'll also have a multiplayer component. Like, all right, I mean, multiplayer is a crowded space in the shooter genre. I mean, it's it's tough to find any ground, but I can't blame them for trying, because if you can carve out a little piece for yourself, it'll really help the longevity and obviously financial side of your game with being able to sell, whether it's, you know, just cosmetics or things like that. But then, hey, a new AAA IP from 4A, which, I mean, they've got a great track record. All the Metro games have been really good. So it'd be kind of nice to see them branch out and have the financial security to go out and build a new idea. So we'll look forward to that in the coming console generation. Next, this is a fun one. I don't know if any of if any of you guys ever worked retail at some point, as I did.
I did, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
Tom Warren from The Verge posted a picture of the shipping box that contained those Series S/Series X controllers that were outed last week. But the actual, you know, the cardboard box that they come in when they're shipped in batches to these stores, and the shipping boxes have an orange sticker on them, which I have seen before, both working in retail and just in my days, like in the OXM days, we'd get like a box of something and it would have it's a street date sticker, and it says, do not open until whatever the street date is. And those controllers have a sticker on them that says, do not open until November 6th. So the internet wisely theorizing, I think, that could be the launch date for the Series X.
That's a Friday, so
yeah.
If I had to guess, I would guess that it's like a week before launch.
You think so?
So here are my credentials. I worked at Hollywood Video / Game Crazy, and then I worked at a Target Electronics for 3 years. Yeah, the controllers, accessories, and stuff like that, it's not uncommon for that stuff to hit store shelves right before a console comes out.
Right.
So
that's true.
Just to deal with like shortages, most people are going to go in and buy a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, and they're going to buy several controllers with it. If they can get some of those accessories out before the console hits, especially since those for the Series X, wait, never mind. Anyway, I was like, I got mixed up here.
We'll
regardless, edit that in post. Regardless, I would guess that we're looking at mid-November. I don't think that is the release date, but it's going to be at least a week before, probably.
Okay. I've definitely seen that before too. I'm even going back. I don't know if it happened in the Xbox One, if in this generation, but it definitely happened in the 360 generation and previous ones, where even some of the launch games would end up pressed onto disc, and you could buy them in stores before the console came out. So there is certainly a precedent there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, whether it's November 6th. Now I'll bet they wouldn't do Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah.
That's
too spooky.
Just got that's just tempting fate for Microsoft at that point.
And every Friday the 13th, the Microsoft store always has a sale on the Friday the 13th franchise. They don't want to mess that up.
But yes, we will.
That is a true thing. I'm not making that up. Every Friday the 13th, you can get those moves for like $1 a piece at the Microsoft store.
So PS4 launched, I want to say November 15th or 16th, 2013, and Xbox was a week later.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if that's what we're going to get again.
They could launch on a weekend or something too.
It's definitely like Nintendo has.
Yeah.
I think this is legit. I was a little skeptical when I first saw this, but now I think it, especially with like Cyberpunk coming out, the 17th, 19th, and then Assassin's Creed coming out like the week 17. Before that. Yeah, I think this is it.
Think so?
Hold on to something, guys. I think this is it.
He's planted his flag in the ground. He's all in.
We're all shocked.
Now I like that controller. The controller has like caused so many problems because it's also the one with the box that says works on Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
Whoops.
The controller reveals everything. Like, there's probably a price for the console.
That no one is Controller Direct, guys. It was a really good one.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Where are we at for time? All right. Let me just do. We've got. I want to run through the new Game Pass games because again, this is the most compelling argument Microsoft has in their portfolio right now is just the insane value that is Game Pass. This week, of course, Flight Simulator launching into Game Pass if you're a subscriber and have a capable PC. Spiritfarer, which our own Tom Marks gave a 9 out of 10 to and is imploring people on Slack, play this game. It is fantastic. The aforementioned Battletoads on August 20th. That is coming up just in a couple days here as we record this. A game called Crossing Souls as well on the 20th, and Darksiders Genesis, which is the sort of top-down Diablo-style take on Darksiders, which is pretty fun. I've played a
Darksiders Genesis is so good.
Yeah, super fun. Don't Starve Giant Edition, same day, August 20th. And then I didn't care for the last one, but hopefully this one's better. New Super Lucky's Tale, if you need a cutesy platformer, mascot kind of fix. That will hit Game Pass on the 21st. Then the week of the 24th, so next week, Hypnospace Outlaw, Tell Me Why, which I mentioned earlier in the show too. The first chapter, that's episodic, of course, from Dontnod. That's August 27th. Double Kick Heroes on the 28th. And Wasteland 3, talking about that one as well. That's the end of the month on August 28th. And then just sneaking in, well, the beginning of September, that week of August 31st, Crusader Kings 3 and Resident Evil 7 Biohazard on September 3rd. So that's all Game Pass. That's all part of your subscription, which is just incredible.
Just unbelievable.
All that good stuff keeps coming, keeps flowing right into your subscription on that.
Also, I just want to mention the new Xbox app for Windows rules.
Oh, really?
It's really good. Yeah, I hadn't had Game Pass in a while, and we got it again for Grounded, and which is weird. I've had Game Pass before. I was still able to get Game Pass Ultimate for $1. So I don't know how that happened.
Don't tell anybody.
Hack. Don't tell everybody, but just tell me first. That's my job.
Grounded for $2. It's amazing. And so I'm playing on PC, and it was like you have to get the new app, and it's the famous words of Todd Howard. It just works. It's really good.
Excellent. We'll love hearing that. Loot box time. Let's see. Destin, I don't know if you have the capability to play this or not.
I don't.
All right. Then, we'll save it for next week. I know that makes me a liar from earlier in the show. I promise I have a Yappa comment queued up, and I would please send in more Yappa comments. Again, go to the Unlocked 457 page on IGN.com. Just Google it, and you'll get to it. And leave us a good loot box question down there, so I've got some more good options to choose from. But let's see. Unlock Block trivia, meanwhile, comes from Thomas Ferroni, who writes in and asks, as you probably know, it's very difficult to change the requirements for achievements on consoles, and Overwatch has done it several times. So which Overwatch hero was the first to have the requirement for their ultimate achievement changed due to a rework in their skill set? I'm not an Overwatch player, so I'd be throwing a dart at the wall here. So I want to go on record saying,
calling Simon Cardy really quick, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I would not get this one, but if any of you are Overwatch players, let us know, or just take a guess.
I'm excited to hear you.
Torbjorn?
I was excited to hear you try the name. Sorry, I ruined it.
All right, well, give me a chance. I believe that should be Torbjorn. Mercy, Bastion, or is it Symmetra or Symmetra? That I'm not
Symmetra.
sure.
Yeah.
Symmetra. Thank you so much. Again, I don't play Overwatch. Seth, I'm gonna go your way first. Any idea here?
It's a bummer because my kids know about Overwatch and they went to go get haircuts. So I am.
You can't ask.
I don't know. I can't ask them. I can't phone
No.
a friend right now, unfortunately.
Will, you want to take a guess?
It's the big guy. Oh my god, what's his name? The
Bastion?
Hammer. Is it Bastion?
No.
Maybe I'm not thinking of the Hammer. The big guy who has the deep voice. Johnny Deep Voice.
What were the options again?
There's 4 options.
I sent you guys the doc.
Mercy,
Torbjorn.
Symmetra.
Yes. Thank you.
Symmetra. I changed my
All right. Mark, any idea here?
No. So we'll go with Torbjorn.
All right. Destin, any clue?
I really like Bastion. I think it's the wrong answer, but you know what? I'm sticking with Bastion just because I like him so much.
Well, I love it when everybody's taking a guess and there's 3 panelists and 4 answers, and you guys managed to all pick the wrong one. It was Mercy.
It's the support
Thomas,
character? Oh, okay.
Thomas Ferroni, congratulations. You have stumped the entire Podcast Unlocked panel. Very good job on that, which makes for entertaining podcasts. So if anybody else out there, if anybody else or everybody else, both, has a good Xbox trivia question, please send it in. The way to do that is to email unlocked@ign.com. Please include your question, 4 multiple choice answers, and note the correct one in your email. And we'll play again next week. And with that...
I'm stunned at how bad we were.
I can't believe it.
I have no idea what I would have guessed had I not screened this email and seen the answer. I don't know what I would have, but I would have been guessing right along with you guys. So it's a panel this week made entirely of non-Overwatch players. So there you go.
We know.
Ask me about anything Halo. Give me Halo trivia and I'll get it right. But all right. With that, Seth Macy, where can we follow you? You can help us save money. I want you to tell us how to do that. So,
well, you go follow the
take it
IGN
away.
Deals. Follow the IGN Deals Twitter account. That's where you find all the money saving stuff. But you can find me on Twitter at Seth Macy or on Instagram at Seth G Macy.
Look at you, G Money Macy.
That's right. The G is for money.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mark Medina.
Yeah, at Mark_Medina on Twitter. I post about Mario 64 a lot.
You do.
So
it's true.
if you don't like that, then don't follow me on Twitter. Because I'm not going to stop.
That's one of the rumored like remaster re-releases as part of the 35th anniversary of Mario. Yeah. Will that completely take over your life if that game comes out on Switch?
He'll finish it in like an hour.
It's funny. I know. It's funny. There's a lot of people messaged me. I think I was still in bed and I had a text from Mitchell, one of our coworkers here, and he was like, "Did you see this?" And Tom Marks messaged me and Pear messaged me. The thing is it wouldn't stop me from playing the N64 version of Mario 64 because it's just going to be different. Yeah. But I would be very excited to play it. Yeah, for sure. I want to work. I just want to work on the wiki. I'm like, guys, I got this. Yeah. I got this.
Yeah, you definitely would have it. I just want that. Give me Galaxy and Sunshine if we're going to do this celebration.
Both of those games are locked on their own consoles for very specific reasons, and I would love to be able to play them on Switch. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, Sunshine has not been accessible for over a decade, so it's so good. It's just a criminally underrated mainline Mario game. Destin Legary, what are you up to?
Yeah, we're going like right into Gamescom. So I actually started my Gamescom build today. I have a record for that show basically right after this episode. And then personal stuff still stream over at twitch.tv/Destin and post YouTube stuff on youtube.com/the Destin channel. But next week, IGN is doing Gamescom all week. You're not going to want to miss it. We are the official partner. So be sure you're checking that out for sure.
Fantastic. You can find me on Twitter if you're interested at DMC_Ryan. And I've got a new episode of IGN Unfiltered. Didn't have one in July. Didn't work out. It's been a little weird with, I it's not a show I really want to do remotely over video, but we're doing it as best we can. So the one that just went up ties into our Outriders IGN first coverage. It's with the co-heads of studio at Square Enix External Studios. So that's the team that works with all of their basically sort of Western partners. So these guys, it's John Brook and Lee Singleton are their names. They've worked on, of course, Outriders, but also Hitman Go, which I love. I love that all game. The Go games. Mm-hmm. And Sleeping Dogs, they worked on that as well. Cool. So check out all those stories. And then I actually have I have a makeup episode, since I didn't have one last month. There's another IGN Unfiltered next week. So we'll talk about that next week. But that will wrap it up for Unlocked 457. Thank you, Seth, Mark, and Destin. And we'll see you all back here next week.
Bye.